Howdy, puzzle combaters. Alright, before too much time passes, I wanted to do a review of the weapons here. And weapon of the month and then the new hero of the month, Gladius. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the weapon of the month first. If you don't get this weapon, you're not missing anything. I do like the accuracy, of course, where it can lessen the impact that the damn dodge has. Or blinding, which is a great thing. That's the reason why I wanted some of the master weapons, and managed to get the Martha, which has this on it, this accuracy bonus, which is cool since it's a yellow, and we are up against purple tanks sometimes, or purple tanks in raids and that sort of thing. And especially Hypernova with the purple dodge weapon on her. Oh, has the tank. Ugh, irritating to deal with. So that's a yellow, which is good. I don't know. Do we see a lot of red tanks, though? Not really. With dodge weapons? Not really. I don't know. Red's probably the color we see the least out of the 5. So, of course, it could still help, though. So the accuracy is good, but this is where I'm a little confused as to why this isn't doubled up with critical strikes, increasing critical strikes instead of the accuracy. Critical damage isn't going to do squat unless a critical strike happens. So, yeah, that just confuses the heck out of me. So are there other weapons that have critical strikes on them? Sure. Is it going to combine properly with this? I don't really know. I don't have this weapon. Haven't been able to test it. I'd imagine it would. But then you've got to combine it with another weapon that has that in it. And what if you don't take that color? Because I think there's a couple of green weapons that have the critical strikes. I'm not sure, though, but if somebody's ever tested that out there, feel free to leave a comment, because I would like more info on that. The stats on this weapon aren't bad, but in all honesty, you're not missing anything, because if you look at these, like the speed weapon helps out so many, especially at 9 points, so many blues. It's insane. And, you know, like a lot of the ones in the 48 to 50 range, of course, they're going to end up high end. Even the 50 range will end up being 58, and that'll be fast instead of high end average. And then you got these kind of to shore up. This isn't a great weapon either, but the first 2 5-star blues I got happened to be both this weapon, so of course I leveled them. But somebody like Visor or Pantera that doesn't have the greatest defenses, this can shore them up a bit, keep them around longer. Draculov's just, see, there's the critical chance there. And then the 37% armor damage. I honestly don't use this very much, but this was my 3rd blue weapon, of course. But then, of course, you got the chili suit with the dodge, plus the 17 resistance, which is, well, it's at 17 right now. I'm not sure how much more it goes up before this was actually leveled completely. Yeah, I don't get the 5-star weapons parts very much. So, regardless, that's a nice thing to have with all the status ailments out there. So, the vanilla weapons actually, in compared to that weapon of the month, bring a lot to the table. So how about that? And I'm sure there's folks out there with multiple speed weapons. And then, of course, the Ice Breath Saw, which is another former weapon of the month, that is a speed weapon as well. And then there's the master weapons. Like, I think this weapon of the month would be low priority for a lot of people. Myself, so I did do an explanation of it earlier, so I'll have to see if I can find that video and put it in the description there of when it first came out, because that was a I remember the combination of these two being a bit confusing, because if there's no critical strikes, like this bonus is pretty much a moot point. So, all right, Gladius. Now he's a bit different. Another warfighter. There's lots of good warfighters. So, undefeated infantry gladiator. Wow. He's all right, last man standing. He's very unique. But mind you, they released Sir Cashmere, or Sir Toilet Paper, because it sounds like the toilet paper brand. And he's knight like this. So I guess there has been precedence for this. He's just unique looking, that's for sure. All right, so charge speed's 56 at average. Well, he'll be 50, well over 58, and can be fast with that regalizer. The defenses, the stats are good. The defenses are nice and high, which is interesting since he's a sniper, because if you look at the two I mentioned before, Pantera and Visor, really low defenses, like disgustingly low. And that's usually the way it is. And even look at their health, right? Mind you, they're upping the ante, and these are older heroes, and they keep upping the ante on all the heroes. Make sure people chase them, so they of course have better stats nowadays. He's got a lot lower attack stat. But these two, like, this is why I put the blue saw on them. They're like crazy low in the stats to hopefully keep them around a little bit longer. But you don't see that with him, because usually that's part of the balancing point too, right? Because they do a fair bit of damage as snipers, and Visor really shines if the health is below half, and he can wipe out a hero in no time if that's the case. So that's kind of the balancing point, is they end up being weaker in something. Well, this guy's not really weak in too much, to be quite honest. So 396 damage to the target. Damage is increased by 13% per each dead ally and enemy. Wow. So if it's you as Gladius, and he's the only one remaining, you got 13% times 4 right there, because all the allies are dead, where you got whoever you wiped out on the other side. That's crazy. That's quite a finishing punch if that's the case. Can maybe take out somebody like Verminus before he bloody well revives all the dead allies. His dead allies. So yeah, the cast, that's pretty powerful. The caster gets 40% plus 40%. Oh, let's try this again. Plus 46% attack, and a further 17% increase every time they are hit during 3 turns. Wow. He gives himself quite the buffs here. Up to 131%. There you go. And he gives himself plus 36% defense. Wow. And a 2% increase every time they're hit during 3 turns. And that caps off at 56% defense. Wow. You know, if you get enough blue tiles and you've got a regalizer on them, or a speed weapon, or an ice breath as the other, I think there's only the 2 5-star blue speed weapons. Like, that's crazy, because he's gonna, I think, is that 10 or 9 tiles? It might even be, I don't think it's up to 8, but it might be, it's 9 probably. I don't know, can't remember the speed chart just offhand here, but, and then it'll only be like 4 ghosted. So as soon as you got a gap, like, this guy's charging up real quick, and these can easily start stacking up. And then he's really going to be hard to kill by then, because he's just going to keep on offense. He's just going to keep on charging up to hit. So, and then he's going to protect himself with armor. This is nuts. Okay, so normally I would use a sniper, a quick sniper like this as a wing, but he's not, definitely not a Visor or Pantera. He could tank or very easily flank. Can you imagine him next to a Yumi? And a Yumi tank, or her next to him if he's playing tank? Jeepers. Rough combinations there. 570 armor over 3 turns. That's nuts. So he's definitely got survivability. I'd level him, no problem, if I got him. I'm sure there's some folks that have a pretty big roster that they've got a lot of other blues. They might not be interested in him, but he seems like a really decent hero of the month, and it doesn't seem overpowered, to be quite honest. For what we get now, this seems like solid all around and built to be a tank. So he's got a lot of tank qualities, that's for sure. So he's a good one in my books anyway. So I need weapons parts. I got 4 here. I haven't finished the event, but I'm gonna try and see what I get here, just to, since I need so many, I honestly don't care if it ends up being ones I take apart, but let's end with some pulls here. All right, good. I need the 3-star barrels for yellow, so I am glad to get that one. That can go. Oh wow, 2 4-stars in a row. That's interesting. That doesn't happen very often. There we go, you just ruined it. Oh, another pinnacle. I have a bunch of those though, I think. So I'm not sure if I'll keep that. Pinnacles. See, there's the Martha there with the accuracy bonus. Really like that. And critical chance in there too. So looking forward to getting that weapon done. Alright. Pinnacles. Oh, I have 2. 3, because there's another one I'm leveling up. So yeah, I think I'll probably just disassemble these. See how many yellow barrels I end up getting from this. That's a part I always seem to be low on. Yes. Oh, good. Couple 5-star parts there. Yay! 7. That's awesome. And 3. That'll help me finish off the Martha. Cool beans. All right, I like that. Yeah, sometimes it's frustrating when you don't hit on something that you want, but then there's other good parts about it. Like all those weapon parts is awesome for somebody like me that doesn't do a lot of pulls. So, alrighty, folks, have yourself a good week. Happy Monday, even though there's really nothing good about Mondays, unless it's a holiday. Take care.